Good morning, students. Welcome to the virtual classrooms. Today we will be starting with a new chapter to study, and that is related to the aldehyde ketones and carboxylic acid. Right? Okay. Now, why we are studying this particular chapter separately? When we studied it as an alcohol phenol ether, we got it as a carbon with single bond. In this chapter, we are having it as a double bonded carbon. That means carbonyl carbon. So the functional group that we are going to have it, aldehydes, ketones, carboxylic, they are all going to have it as a carbonyl group, and that is the reason why the definition for it, it's given out as for aldehydes, one of its valency is satisfied by alkyl or aryl and the another one by hydrogen. When one of the valency of carbonyl carbon is completed by alkyl or aryl and other by hydrogen. Such compounds are known as aldehydes. Right? Okay. Now in place of that, if I want to go it for the ketones, then what is the difference that I am going to get it? We are going to get it as an both of them as an alkyl, or both of them as an aryl, or one can be alkyl, one can be aryl. So definition is written as when both the valency of carbonyl carbon is completed by alkyl or aryl, or one as an alkyl and aryl. Right? Both of them can be alkyl, both of them can be aryl, one can be alkyl, one can be aryl. Then such compounds are known as ketones. Right? While the third one we are going to get it is a carboxylic acid. That means the carbonyl group is there. One is completed by alkyl or aryl and the another one by hydroxyl group. So for that case, the definition is written as when one of the valency of carbonyl carbon is completed by alkyl or aryl and another valency by OH, that is hydroxy group. Then such compounds are known as carboxylic acids. Right? So we are going to study about 3 of these functional groups in this chapter, right? Okay, now while we are going to study this, these are not only the 3 that are having it as a carbonyl group. Additional to this 3, we are also having it as an acid producing its derivative. That means from the acids we are going to get it as this carboxylic acid as a derivatives in the form of the carbonyl group remains as it is, alkyl group remains as it is, but its OH group is removed by halogen. Its OH group is replaced by halogen. They are known as acid halides. Similarly, if OH group is replaced by alkoxide, they are known as ethers. The third one is it's replaced by OCOR group. It produces anhydrides, and when it is replaced by amine, it produces amides, right? So these 4 are considered to be as a derivatives of the carboxylic acids. They are also having it as a carbonyl group present in them, right? So something related to them also, maybe in the form of chemical properties of carboxylic acid, or maybe in the form of preparation of the carboxylic acid, we will be also having certain reactions of these 4 functional groups, right? Okay, the detail that we are going to study, it's of aldehyde ketones and carboxylic acid. Okay, now while we will be studying the chapter, aldehydes and ketones, they are the functional group isomers of each other, and their chemical properties are also almost same to one another. Even the preparation methods are also almost same to one another, and that's the reason why aldehydes and ketones we are going to study together. Maybe it's IUPAC, maybe it's preparation, physical properties or chemical properties. We will study together, and then later on, after completion of aldehydes and ketones, we will be going through carboxylic acid and its derivatives, right? So first of all, today we will be studying only IUPAC nomenclature of aldehydes and ketones. Now we know it, for the nomenclature of aldehydes and ketones, we are having it as in same properties. For IUPAC, the rules that we are writing it to find out the longest chain. They are themselves going to be the highest reactive, so additional to them, to find functional groups, number 2 carbon atoms, in such a way that aldehyde and ketone gets least number, because we are going to get them as an highest reactive, right? Specifically aldehyde, it's always number 1 specifically. Okay, now here the change that we are having it for aldehydes, the suffix is al, right? But in case when you are having it as an the carbon not included in the chain, if carbon of CHO group is included in the chain, then suffix will be written as carbaldehyde. For it you will be having a suffix of carbaldehyde, right? So that you have to be careful. The second one is, for the ketone, the suffix we are going to write it as -one. But again for ketones, if ketones are necessary to indicate as prefix, then they are written as oxo. If I want to specify the ketone as a prefix, I will have to write it as an oxo. For aldehyde, suffix is al, al, but still if the carbon is not included in the chain of the aldehyde group, then we write it as carbaldehyde. So this is what we will be having it as a suffix or prefix for the aldehydes and ketones. Let's see some of the nomenclature for the practice. We are having it as a certain groups for the practice. Let's see what are the groups that we are going to get it for the practice. We are having it as an, suppose, CH3CHO. The compound we are having it as an 2 carbon atoms present in it. So that means we will be naming it as an ethanol. The IUPAC, ethane, and the suffix is al. So compound will be named as ethanol. Right? Okay. Now, in place of that, if we are having it as a compound, CH3, CH2, CH, CHO, CH3. Now, in this compound, what happens? We are having it as a 4 carbon as a longest chain, but as already we specified that the carbon of the CHO should be always number 1. So, in spite of the longest chain shown over here for the hydrocarbon, we will have to put it as in CHO as number 1. So this one will become 2, 3, 4. So we will be getting the name as 2-methyl butanol. Okay. Now, similarly, I am putting here CHO, CHO, CH3. Now this time what happens? 2 aldehydes are there. Both of them cannot be given out the number 1, but both of them has to be included in the chain. So in that case what will happen? We will be getting it as 4 carbon as the longest chain. So we got it as 2,3 dimethyl butane 1,4 diol. Right? In general, we don't need to specify the al group with a number, but here the position is compulsory to be specified. So we write it as butane. The E is replaced by 1,4 diol. Right? Okay. Let's see the compound as CH2 CHO, CH, CHO, CH2, CHO. Now we are having it as an 3 aldehyde groups. Now, if I write it 1, 2, 3, 4, this aldehyde is left out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this aldehyde is left out. Longest chain is of 5 carbon. So what to do about this aldehyde? So for this case, what we will do it is, we won't include any of this carbon in the chain. We will take this 3 as the longest chain only. So we will write it as propane 1, 2, 3 tri. Now, not as an al. We did not include its carbon in the chain. So we will write its name as carbaldehyde. We did not include it. So we will write it as carbaldehyde. Okay. Now similarly, this is particularly one important factor. We generally, seeing the compound, we immediately shout out benzaldehyde. But benzaldehyde, it's an accepted name. It's not an IUPAC name. Right? It's accepted IUPAC nomenclature. It's IUPAC. It's a benzene carbaldehyde, because its carbon is not included in the chain, but we have accepted it as benzaldehyde. So its accepted IUPAC name is benzaldehyde. Okay. Okay. Let's see some more compounds. CHO, CHO. Now again, the benzene is there and two CHO groups are there. Both cannot be included in the chain, so we are writing its name as benzene. This is 1, 2, so benzene 1, 2, dicarbaldehyde. Okay. Now, in spite of that, if I am having suppose CHO with Cl, then for this case, chloro is a prefix. On the second position, benzene carbaldehyde. It's an actual IUPAC name, but in place of that, as we know that we accept it as an benzaldehyde, we also write it as 2-chloro-benzaldehyde. Both of them becomes correct because benzaldehyde is an accepted as an IUPAC, right? Okay. Now let's see for the ketone. For the ketones, if I go for it, minimum 3 carbons will be must. For ketones, minimum 3 carbons because it's a RCOR group. So 2R means there are 2 carbons and CO. So ketones, they always starts with propane. On is a suffix for it. The position I want to indicate it, it's a propane 2-on. Its common name is very well known. So I am writing its common name. It's well known, acetone, right? Many times we will be also using it, but the compound is known as propane 2-on. That means in the ketone, the number is must to be specified. If I am having CH3, CH2, CO, CH, CH3, CH3. Now I want to write the name of the compound. From this side also it's a 3-on, from this side also it's a 3-on. So what should I do it? It's a compulsory for me to start with this because the summation of the locants, that means the summation of the positions of functional groups should be smallest. If I go from here, I am going to get 3, 4. I am going from this, I am getting 2 and 3. So 2, 3 is a smaller number. So we will be going it like that and we will be getting it as 2-methyl pentane 3-on, right? Okay. For benzene, again this is very well known, but it's a common name. This is not the IUPAC name. Its IUPAC will be written as phenyl. We will be writing it as an phenyl with ethanol. Now see, we told it that we always starts with minimum 3 carbons, and here when the longest chain comes out to be of an ethanol, so student gets confused. So make it clear that this is the alkyl chain, so it's written out as ethanol. This is the main 2 different chains, and we are having it as a more than 3 carbons, right? Phenyl ethanol. Similarly, if we are having it as a we name it as an diphenyl ketone as a common name, but its IUPAC name will be written out as phenyl benzenone. The IUPAC name of the compound will be given out as phenyl benzenone. Okay. So now from your textbook, make it as a practice for the given different compounds. Draw the structures, write the names, draw the structures. Both vice versa will be must for you to write for the IUPAC. The next one we are having it is a structure of aldehydes and ketones. Now, when we are talking about the structure of aldehydes and ketones, we know that we are having it as a carbonyl group. Maybe any aldehyde or maybe ketone. In both the cases, we are having it as an C double bond O. That means this carbon, it's going to be sp2 hybridized. So the carbon double bonded, one is going to be sigma, one is going to be pi bond. So in aldehydes and ketones, carbon shows 3 sigma and 1 pi bond. As a result, the shape is always trigonal planar, that is bond angle 120 degree. As it is an sp2 hybridized, it will be trigonal planar with bond angle 120. Okay. At the same time, this carbonyl group, it's having it as a pi bond present in it. It's having it as a pi bond present in it. What will happen? This pi bond may go for resonance and it creates the oxygen with a plus charge minus, and this comes out to be as an the structure minus plus, and the compound has an resonating structures. By using this lone pairs, it can go for resonance also, right? So this compound is capable to produce resonance. This double bond, this was the, actually I will show it again. This is double bonded oxygen and 2 bonds are there. This lone pair goes to the oxygen, so it gets converted as a negatively charged, and carbon produces resonance. So this continuous interchanging produces resonance, and because of the resonance, the stability of aldehydes and ketones are more. Because of it, stability of aldehydes and ketones are more, right? So we studied it about IUPAC and electronic structure. Make sure that you go for the practice of it. In our next lecture, we will be studying it, different methods of preparations of aldehydes and ketones, in which some of them we have already studied in our previous lecture. Anyhow, we will discuss it in our next lecture. Thank you.